So I would like to thank everyone for joining us for Homecoming 2020 Goes Virtual. We're happy that we are able to come together virtually to celebrate Montclair State. Welcome on behalf of the Office of Alumni Engagement. I'm Caitlin Spooner and I'm a program assistant in the office. As alumni, you are part of a successful network of fellow Redhawks that is 130,000 strong and growing, with members in all 50 states and worldwide. You, our alumni and friends, play a very important role in the future success of this network. You can be involved in a number of meaningful ways, from helping to recruit new students, to connecting with current students, to serve as a mentor, speak in a class, or provide internships, to attending events like today's program that bring you together with fellow alumni and friends as we build and strengthen our Montclair State network. Be sure to stay connected through Montclair Connect, the newly updated online community. Check out the website for additional information at montclair.edu/alumni. So let's get started with our session today. Today we are exploring the past and present with the library and archives, presented by Karen Ramsden, Research and Projects Specialist and Digital Commons Coordinator, and Paul Martinez, who is an archivist, cataloging librarian at the Sprague Library. I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
Thank you, Caitlin. I appreciate that very warm introduction. And good morning to the alumni at Montclair State University. Paul and I are so thankful for having you attending our session today. We really do appreciate it. I'm going to start by sharing a screen, and I'm going to start giving a little bit of an overview of what I am going to show you today. Do that now. And I am Karen Ramsden. I work in Sprague Library, and I am hopefully you can see my screen okay. I am the Digital Commons Coordinator. Now, Digital Commons is our institutional repository at Montclair State University. And before I begin to speak to you a little bit further about the repository, I want to let you know that I'm putting together also links that I'm going to be sharing, that Paul and I will be sharing today. So you'll get them in the future, so keep your eye out open for them. Don't worry about you have to write things down really quickly. We'll get you out some links that you can use in the future as well. So first of all, what is an institutional repository? And you're going to hear me refer to it as the IR throughout the presentation, because it's a lot easier to say than saying institutional repository constantly over and over. The IR is a place on our campus, and it's a virtual place where we actually house all of the incredible research that our faculty, our staff, and of course our students are doing at the university. And it's also a place where we showcase our history through the efforts that Paul has done with the archives, and the archives has a home on the institutional repository as well. And I promise I'm going to give Paul enough time, because he's going to be doing the really fun part of our presentation when he's showcasing the archives. Because you are all such a great history and part of Montclair State University that is something that I don't want to take too much time away from all the hard work that he's been doing on that part of it. So what you see right now is our homepage of the repository, and hopefully everybody can see it okay. And what's really nice is we have all these different little areas that you can go and you can look. So you can search for information and research on different colleges, schools, departments, disciplines. We also have some journals that we have put up there. Books and media, it's not a full text download of books, but it is, you'll see the book jacket and the book cover and a nice abstract of what the book is about and what professor might be doing it. We have theses, dissertations, and culminating projects. So right now, I believe we have them all digitized from 2012 and present. Paul might be able to correct me on that in case I'm wrong. But we are working hard in the library. Our library team's working to digitize all of our much older theses and dissertations. So if you've done one, it'll be up there. It's going to get up there, and it'll be up there in perpetuity and forever. And people can look at the great research that you've done as well. Of course, we have our archives, which Paul will talk about. We have some conferences and some events that you can always browse the contents from those as well. Research data, and then author profiles. If there's a professor that you might have really liked that works at Montclair State, hopefully we have a profile for them. If not, know that things are coming soon, because we are still populating a lot of this. So not all the research is up there, but we're getting there. And if you have college students at home, middle school students at home, elementary school students at home, and you need to help them with their research projects, you'll see on the left-hand side here, you can search for different terms. If it's not in this repository, there's a drop-down box, and you can search across all repositories. So you'll be able to find it. If Montclair State doesn't have it, maybe another school like Penn State may have it, that you can kind of go and download their information. Now, one thing I want to make very clear is that you can sign up for a free account. You can go to my account, and you don't pay anything. We do not harvest your name. We don't sell your name. It's not third-party information. You can get alerts about different research that's happening. So if you have a free account, you'll see these little follow buttons right here in blue. They are located all over the whole site. You click on that, and if you want to get alerts about archive information going up or other types of research from faculty or theses that are coming up in a certain department, you'll get alerted. And you can also set your alerts. So you're not going to get bombarded with hundreds of alerts a day, because we know we don't like getting all that email spam. So you'll be able to set it that maybe you want to get a monthly report of what's happening in that area. Or maybe you want to get a weekly one, or as it happens, if you want to do that as well. And on this homepage, I'm going to show you a really fun feature. So when you scroll down, you'll see things like paper of the day. So Professor Francesca LaGuardia, her paper, she's in Justice Studies Department, in case anybody has had her in the past. And if you wanted to read about this, you can just click right on it. It brings you to a PDF that you can look at and download, read off the computer, whatever you want. And again, no cost whatsoever. You can see where our top 10 downloads are from there and recent editions. And this is the fun part right here, this little map. So what's really nice is this map is showing you from all over the world items that are being downloaded from our repository at Montclair State. And sometimes it's a little mesmerizing. So you can sit here and kind of watch what things are happening around the world. And maybe you want to look at that certain paper. Again, you can click on it. There's a hyperlink. It'll take you right to that item as well. One fun fact, and Paul will probably touch on this, is that the Montclarion gets a ton of downloads around the world. That has been a really hot item in our repository, but I'll let him, of course, speak about that. And I'm just going to go, do a little deep dive into one of our departments. And I picked political science and law because of, as we know, we are in an election cycle. I'm sure everybody's heard about that happening. So I figured, why not pick political science and law at this point? So you can go right into college, school, or department, and you click on that. You'll see you come up with all these different units. And of course, it's an academic unit. And now you can browse all the different schools, whatever you would like to pick. I'm going to pick humanities and social sciences today. And you'll see a little blurb about what it is. We have a brand new dean there, by the way, and he's absolutely wonderful, Peter Kingstone. They have their own map. So this is everything coming out of humanities and social sciences on this map. And they've had 25,000 downloads, which is really pretty incredible. And then you'll see you'll have different departments, all your different departments in the school. And you just browse down, and I'm going to get to political science. Now, again, books and media, you'll be able to look at book jackets and the abstract and who the author is for it. But right here, you can see we have political science and law theses and dissertations. And when you do click on that link, it brings you up to the dissertations that we have that are digitized and up to date. And again, you might be able to find your own name. You might be able to find some of your classmates' names and some of their research. And when you click on any of these, and I'll click on one before I do turn it over to Paul, it'll again bring down the abstract. It'll bring down who the student is and what department, when it was awarded, and who the faculty advisor was, and of course the PDF that you can download as well and read. So I'm just going to pick on the rise of defense spending in the US. And as you can see here, it was Ashley Marie Vaca from Montclair State. And here's her information on her abstract of what it was. And again, she's had 70 downloads since June, which is really quite impressive. Really great work, Ashley. And when you click on download, it brings up the paper right here. So you can, instead, start reading it. You can look at it. Maybe you have, like I said, students at home that need to do some research on different items. And here we go. You have the whole paper right then and there. So that's kind of like a little bit of a dive into what the research part of it is. But again, I'm going to turn it over to Paul. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them either now, or if you want to wait till the end, a little Q&A, that's fine. And I will be sending out links to the alumni office. So I'll have these kind of specific links so you'll be able to follow along and recreate this at your own time. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to Paul, and he's going to share, like I said, the fun part of this.
Well, thanks very much, Karen, and welcome everybody. I'm glad to see you. Good morning. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit. I'm going to start off to talk to you about the library archives. And we started the archives many, many years ago. And it basically just started with the reference librarians collecting materials that we thought that we should preserve. Things like yearbooks. We collected issues of the Montclarion as they came in the library. A lot of when we could find photographs, things like university senate minutes, all the stuff that the librarians thought that we should preserve for history. But it wasn't really, it was sort of an unofficial collection. And over, I guess, the past 10 years or so, we've been really working to expand our holdings and what we have. And we've also, luckily, especially with our connection with alumni relations, we've received a lot of donations. People will send us their old yearbooks. We've gotten some really, really wonderful photographs. People find things in their attic and they say, well, we'll send it on. And we've been able to preserve that. What we do with the physical materials is a lot of times we preserve them in kind of archival boxes, acid-free boxes, and we work to even we get little special containers for, I don't know if freshmen remember when I think there was a sort of like a hazing week where freshmen wore little beanies, red beanies. We've got a bunch of those and a lot of student handbooks and a lot of really fun stuff that we're gathering together. One of the things that we've been doing is, and a big, especially over the past couple of years, is been working on digitizing our collections. And I'm going to jump in and show you my screen, and we're going to start off on Digital Commons, where I'll show you things that we've done. The two biggest ones are, well, actually there's three big ones, but two on Digital Commons are the image collections and the Montclarion. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. I'll share my screen here. And bring you up here. Bear with me 1 second. So starting off again, actually, we'll go from Digital Commons and I'll show you a couple of other things. But as you can see on the front page of Digital Commons, we have the library archives section of Digital Commons. And this is where we keep a couple of our collections. There's image-related collections and there's the Montclarion. So to begin with, we're going to jump in and I'll show you how to access the Montclarion. Now, this collection that you see online with the Montclarion is when the library, each week we would get a print copy of the Montclarion newspaper, and we would hold it for a week or so and display it on the shelves, and then we would put it into storage. Now, there are some gaps in the collection that sometimes, if someone would grab a Montclarion and take it away or take it home with them, we wouldn't get a full copy. But actually recently we got a donation from the Montclarion office. We got a lot of their back issues. So I'm actually working on a project now to redigitize a lot of those. Also, a lot of the older Montclarions and even the Pelican newspaper, which was the first newspaper on campus, we have those, but they're in delicate condition. So that's a bigger digitization project because it's a little bit more expensive to get them digitized and available. But if we look in, similar to what Karen showed you before, the Montclarian Collection is here. And I'm going to show you, as it starts off, they begin chronologically. So this is the first issue that we have digitized, is this one from 1948. We have older editions in the library itself. They're in boxes, but this is the first one that we have digitized. And like I said, there are a lot of gaps in the earlier ones. You start getting into more and more Montclarions in the early 60s, and it progresses on through there. The nice thing about the Montclarian collection is that you can look through and have a look and see, once you click on it, they're actually text searchable. There's a couple of options that you have to review them. And if you have a look here, this will give you the publication date and all the information, but this little preview window will show up as well. So you can take a look through here and search. And as you scroll down in this little window, it'll get you to the text. It takes a minute to pop up, but here's the text of the issue from November 7th, 1962. And so you can look through here. Also, another option that you have, as you see up top here, you can go through and download the full issue of the Montclarion yourself. So it'll download it as a PDF file, And this is a little bit easier to access. These are also text searchable as well. So if we wanted to go through and have a look and see once it loads up, you can see, and you can search the text in here if you wanted to look for something in particular in this issue. So also you can search the full Montclarian collection. A couple of days ago, or it was over maybe a few weeks actually, I got an inquiry at the archives about Bill Diogardi, I'm pronouncing his name, but he was a baseball coach in the 1960s. He later became the athletics director, and the track and field is actually named after him. So sometimes people send me questions about people on campus or buildings on campus too. But if we wanted to take a look in the Montclarion, we can take a look through and search and see maybe, and I actually did that too. So you can search through, and if you're looking for a particular event, or you want to go through the Montclarion, this is how the search works. So if we give that a second to come up. So here's all of the mentions where his name, Coach Diogardi's name comes up. And you can see too, if you look over on the left, you can see all of the years of the Montclarion that his name is mentioned. So you do have to look through, like the one that he's mentioned the most will come up to the top. You do sometimes, you can also add in search terms as well, or put search terms in quotes to get it kind of, to help you refine your search, make it a little bit more distinct. But these are the issues to the Montclarion as well that mentioned his name somewhere. And we'll just bring one of those up and have a look.
Hey, Paul and Karen, we have someone very excited to be on. She was asking, Kathleen is asking, are there internship opportunities available with Sprague and the Montclarion?
Internship opportunities. Yes. The only thing that at the moment, well, the Montclarion, I'm not so sure, because the Montclarion would be their, as far as the current student newspaper, they're kind of their own independent organization. So I'm not positive of them. I need to get back to you on that. As far as the only thing right now is with the COVID issue, I'm not quite sure. I'd have to find out about that. But we have had interns at the library and at the archives as well. So if you'd like, you can send me an email and let me know your details, and we can talk to you about that. My email address, I can post that for you in chat. It's just my last name is Martinez. martinezp@montclair.edu. Send me an email and I'd be happy to talk that over with you. I'm not positive at the moment just because of the COVID issues, but we have had interns in the past. So just continuing on again, I know we're jumping, but this is an overview of the Montclarion. Again, if you have any questions at how to use it, or if you have any questions about searching, please do get in touch. Just to save a bit of time, I'm going to go ahead and start off again, go back to the beginning of Digital Commons and show you some of the other collections that we have, just to make sure that we don't run out of time. So back at the archives as well, one of the really great things, again, with the donations and materials that we find, one of the collections a couple of months ago, actually it was last year, there were people moving on campus. You've probably heard about the renovation of College Hall. A lot of folks were moving around on campus, and a big collection of digitized slides, there were 35mm slides, the old Kodachrome slides. We found a bunch of those in a basement. And so we've been working on digitizing them and making them accessible. A lot of them, the bulk of them I'd say are from the 1970s, but these are all photographs that would have been lost over time. And that's one of the things that I'm particularly excited about and working on at the moment. We have a few other things too. Architectural drawings is a quick thing I'll show you. Is we have, these are scans of the original architectural drawings of College Hall. So they're really neat in that if you wanted, especially now at the renovation, if you wanted to see what the College Hall layout looked like when the building was first built, these are what they look like. So these are really fun to kind of go through and see. You know, they give you a little preview image of what the various parts of the building were like, and you can kind of go through. But a really fun thing that I've enjoyed looking at is on the first floor plan, you can see where the various offices and classrooms were and where the gym and all that stuff. So it's a really neat way to explore. Again, you can download the full PDF copy, and also similar to the Montclarion, there's a little preview image there too. So that's something that's fun. I'm going to continue on because just so we keep an eye on the time, another collection that I wanted to show you was a donation of materials that we got from Elton Robertson. Elton Robertson graduated, he's Dr. Elton Robertson actually, he graduated in 1964, and he worked with the audiovisual department at the time. So he took a lot of photographs of campus. So from his period of time, from about 1960 to 1964, he took, it's a real neat little snapshot of life on campus at that time. And we can just jump down. I'll show you those quickly as well. Is under Dr. Robertson's collection. We can take a look here. And you can see, you know, this was homecoming. As you can see, the students were probably a little bit more slack with drinking on campus back in 1964, but these are a few of him and his friends enjoying a few beers at homecoming, or it might have been the spring carnival at the time. He has a lot of pictures from the carnival as well, but here's the boys having a few beers in Stonehall, which would be frowned on today, but that was back at the time. But it gives you a nice little snapshot, and there's football games, gives you a little snapshot into what life was like during his period of time. The next thing that I wanted to show you was our jumping around a little bit in the images collection, but I wanted to show you our digitized slides. This is a project that I'm working on at the moment, which is we're getting these slides, sending them out to a vendor to have them made into digital images and getting them available to you online. And there are a lot of different snapshots of, again, these are all collections of buildings on campus, different insight, you know, it gives you another little insight. There's a lot of, actually just went through 1971, and there's a lot of homecoming. This is a student football game, but these are, well, let me see if we can jump through a little bit. We can get you some of the homecoming floats, and I'll jump through there. Also, this collection is text searchable as well. So if you wanted to see, for example, what sort of, you're looking for pictures of homecoming or commencement or things like that, you can use the search over here, and then it'll also give you the years. This was a band called Poco, they're really popular at the time, and they're still around actually. But here's a picture of them playing. This is from the homecoming concert. I think we should find a few football players and pictures of things that are going on. Yeah, homecoming floats as well. And of course, these images as well, not only can you search for them, but you can also download and mostly find them too. So the next thing I wanted to mention to you is, we'll make sure we have a little bit time, is we also digitized our yearbooks up to 2012. Now, they're actually not on Digital Commons. They're available through, actually probably the easiest way you can get to them is, we're going to send out the links as well, but if you go to the Montclair State University, the alumni page, and if you look under reunions, there's a link to them here. And you can go through, and we also have we have a full collection and a lot of extras actually of the print yearbooks in the archives. So other things that we have available in the archives, and this is all if you can make it into campus, and let me know in advance if you want to come and take a look at the images that we haven't digitized yet, or any of the old master's thesis, course catalogs, things like that. So this is a digitized collection of the most materials that we have here are the yearbooks, but we also have course catalogs in here too. Some of the times I get requests for if someone is, say, transferring to another institution, or they're maybe doing a master's degree and they need a course. I need a description of what like Psych 103 was when I was here in 1986. This is a way you can access them through. What I've done is I've sorted them by date, and you can see through and look through. This is Montclarion. The 2012 is the most recent one we have digitized, but they go back to the earliest ones that we have. We also cover here, if you remember, Montclair State merged with the Panzer School in 1958, and We also have the Panzer yearbooks from when they were an independent institution, and also college high school. If you remember Moorhead Hall, or you may or may not remember that Moorhead Hall was originally college high school. So we have their yearbooks as well. They're under the Compania. So you can go through and find out. And there's a few other documents or a few other books that we had digitized at the time. Using these as well, if you can, there's really neat, I really enjoy using these because you can flip through them, as we'll see, it'll come up in a second. And you can search inside the yearbook itself. Like if you wanted to search for football, this actually came up because the last search I did was someone who was asking me about football, and you can zoom in and see that this was the 1970 varsity football team. And here's all their names. And these are text searchable, and we'll go through. I'll show you real quick.
Hey, Paul, we are running a little low on time,
Sure.
so.
All right, thanks for the heads up. But that basically covers everything. Again, if you have any questions, any research that you want to do, please get in touch with me, and I'd be happy to help. You know, there's plenty of stuff to explore, and we're really excited about making connections with the alumni to kind of expand our collection, have you explore our collection. So thanks again.
All right. Thank you both so much. This is such an interesting topic, and I feel like everyone that was on here learned so much, and you know, I'm sure we'll be reaching out with more questions. So thank you for such an engaging session. For those at home, your connection to Montclair State University doesn't end the day you graduate, it lasts a lifetime. We ask that you stay connected to your alma mater and help us to continue to build a tradition of success for the next generation of Montclair State University graduates. If you have any questions about this program or your alumni benefits, feel free to contact the Office of Alumni Engagement at 973-655-4141 or alumni@montclair.edu. Thanks for joining us for Homecoming 2020.
Thanks, everyone. Have a
Take
great
care, everyone.
day. Enjoy.
Bye now. Thanks for coming.